Hey guys, Jay here. Today I'm going to be going over my Reinhard costume from ReZero. So, there are a few things that aren't done right now that I still have to finish, but this is good enough to where if I were to stop, it would be fine and it wouldn't really be a huge deal. But there's a few tweaks I want to make after this video is over, but I have to get this out. It's literally 2 days before I'm trying to get it out, so I need to do it now. So, I'm going to talk about everything as much as I can. And then there's a couple other things like the sword, which you can see this is just a hilt and part of the blade. I'll talk about that. As well as you can't see the pants, obviously. This thing's not tall enough. Well, I mean, it can be, but you wouldn't see the rest of it. So we're not doing that. I'm just going to show you B-roll of that. Anyway, let's go over everything just from top to bottom. So the wig, I already have a video that's going to be coming out. Don't know when, but I have that and the Subaru wig over here for my friend. And those will be going out after this at some point. I don't know exactly when. Sometime after SoccerCon. Which, speaking of, this will be at SoccerCon 2022. We don't know which day because it depends on when Robbie Damon, his voice actor, has his autograph things. So we're basing this around that. So it'd be Friday or Saturday, one of the two. Doesn't really matter. So as far as the costume goes, I bought it, basically. But it did not look like this when I got it. I'll show you a picture, but it did not look like this. So there's these flaps here at the bottom. They're still there, but you can see the difference in length. So we had to add that, and I'm going to be cutting those off. That's one of the finishing things I have to do still. And then the inside of the lapels and the collar were some weird brown tan color, which is completely off. It's supposed to be like a grayish purple. I like the purple because it matches the rest of the trim. So, and that's sort of what it looks like in the anime. Speaking of, you may notice this doesn't look like the anime version. It has like these here. It has a different belt buckle. That's like not a solid one. Yeah, that's because it's not. We're doing the light novel versions of these characters, and mine's the only one who's different. So, or that's vastly different. So, I added the little details that are on that version. So that's what that is. And then I have to iron this open still, but you can see down here, there's still some space where that brown is. I had my friend Atlis do all of that because I had to do all the other stuff. I had to do the pants as well as all my other costume stuff. So he did that for me. He went down to this button here that snaps over here, but as you can see, this goes under that button. I didn't realize that when I put those on. Plus this is supposed to go down way over here like this where it starts to come back up. So I have to fix that. I'm going to be taking this snap off and the other side obviously off. And then we're going to be adding more of that purple right here to make it look better so it doesn't have that brown there. We might add some up here too because it looks like this might show, and I'm not 100% sure if it will or not, but it might. So I am doing that just in case. And then he added the little flap things. So he got as close of a fabric as he could. There, you can't get this same fabric basically. It's one that's basically only in those Chinese shops, so you're kind of screwed. You just get whatever's close enough. And then the vinyl that he put here is some Yayahan stretch vinyl. And I think it's a two-way stretch, I'm not sure. But it's actually on the floor, but whatever. It was just a purple color that was the closest we could possibly get to what they had on here. It's not the same. It is visibly darker, but luckily this belt is in the middle of them, so it's a little harder to tell the difference. Also, you can see where it connects. I'm going to be putting a snap there so that it stops doing that, just so you know. So that's another finishing thing later. Let's see. So, oh yeah, I will link down where I got this, but with how it came, I don't think you should even buy it. I don't know if you'll get the same thing as I did. I don't know why it came that way. I've never seen one that has the brown on it like that anywhere. So I don't know what happened. So they've also been ignoring me. I've asked them multiple times to fix it, and they're just ignoring me. And the only time they messaged me back was, hey, we can give you $30 back. This was like $110. I'm not getting 30 back. So that didn't happen, so we had to fix it. So yeah, he just added that fabric, and I just need to add a little bit more. And then we're done with that, basically. So as far as the belt goes, I just made a belt. So I've done this before with Kingdom Hearts 1 Cloud and regular, remake Cloud for Final Fantasy VII Remake, where his straps are 2 layers that are put together and sewn together, and they're hemmed, and it's hard to explain. There'll be B-roll, but I made it that way. But to strengthen it, I also added some nylon strapping inside, like that backpack strapping, the stuff you pull on to tighten your backpack. Yeah, that. So there's that inside here. So how is this thing staying on other than just hopes and dreams? Well, just like I said for this, there's snaps. So on the back, I gotta cut this down and still put a couple more straps because snaps, because as you can see, it's doing this thing. I don't want to do that. I want it to be straight up and down. So I gotta add those and fix that later, but that's nothing. I can just add more. But then on the side, I have one here and one on the other side, and I'll show you B-roll. They're snaps that are on more backpack strapping and then sewn through from behind. So you can't see the seam because I sewed it through the seam on top so that it matches with the seam that was already there. So that's how that's done. And then, as I said, I'm going to put one here too. What I'm going to do is in between the buckle, like you can see where the middle piece of the bar of the buckle is, I'm going to make it span across that so this can't move anywhere because it can just, it's hard, but it can move. So I'm going to stop that from happening, as well as having a snap to keep it in place. That solves all that problem. So the lapels, these added things that I put on here, these little strips, I don't know what they're for. I have literally no idea why they put them in the design in the light novel, but they're there, so I had to add them. So the anime does not have these, probably because it makes it easier to animate when he's moving. You don't have to draw all these, just less details to have to worry about. The same with the patch here, which is, it's just a patch I had printed, or embroidered, or whatever that is, however they make patches. But these don't do anything. Like, I don't think they snap to anything. I don't think they snap down or anything on the design. Not sure. So they're just random things they drew. So these are they're black on the back, but they're 2 layers to make them strong. So it's a black vinyl that's, what is that, 3/4 inch wide, I think, or something like that. And I can't measure it up against my table, but I also don't want to go and grab anything to measure it with. I think it's 3/4 inch wide, I'm pretty sure. And then these little gold things here, I'll put these in the description too, or if I can find them, again, I'll put them in the description. I don't remember exactly where we got them, but I think they're in my bookmarks, so I can do that. But these are the only ones we could find that were like this. Everything else, you've probably seen those studs that look like pyramids. That's all I could find. I could not find anything like this except for these specific ones where I got them. So I got them to make it easy on myself. So just like the pyramid ones, they have the little spiky legs on the bottom, and then you push those in when you're done and they stay on. It's just done with that, and then the 2 layers are super glued together, but the top layer is painted with this paint. This is Tulip brand soft matte. So I did that, and then I clear coated them. If you can find a one like this, it's a satin or a gloss, depending on what your thing looks like, that would work too. Or if you make it yourself or want to cover up these with bias tape, you can, and then just use that. Up to you. Anyway, so we were going to use the purple fabric that we used here on these, but I could not use that for the life of me. It would not work. So that sucks. So, on to the patch just real quick, since it's on the jacket, and I think it's the only thing left on the jacket. I just went on Etsy. I will put the link to this Etsy seller in the description. I picked the wrong one. Also, I put it on crooked. That was my bad. But, whatever. I can probably rip it off or something and re-iron it, but I really don't want to test that. This, I ordered it in 4 inches. I think 4 or 4.5, one of the two, and that's way too small. I probably should have ordered it in like 6 or something, 5 or 6 inches. My bad, nothing I can do about it now. But yeah, so she just embroidered that on her machine and sent it to me after I paid for it. It was like $30 something or 40 something after tax and shipping. So that's that. Also, one thing that I can't really show you too well because it's gonna be, oh, that's dirty, because it's gonna be impossible to see regardless. Atlis lined the inside of this for me with thicker white fabric. it was having a problem where just moving in it was flapping it around everywhere. So that weighs it down a little bit, so it stops doing that. So, because I wanted it to not do that anymore. So to see the rest of it, I'd take the belt off and undo that snap, so you can see the really crappy shirt, probably because of down here. And I don't know how well you can see it, but I'll take better video of what that looks like. It looks like garbage. This was too short. They made it, it didn't even reach like my belt. That's how short it was. And it's supposed to be longer than that, like way longer. It's supposed to peek out from the bottom of these flaps. You're supposed to be able to see it. So I had to add some length to it, and I just used whatever fabric I had laying around. So it whatever works. But it came with this nice zipper on it. I do have to add, for the light novel version, there's a couple more pieces of bias tape that go across here. It make like kind of a wing formation almost. So, or a tiered effect or something. So I have to I'm just gonna glue those down because it's way easier to do that. Because I don't need to sew all of that. No one can see it on my neck anyway half the time. So that unzips all the way down to here and then comes apart. So like this, and then, well, it can't with this one. There we go, it comes apart. And then this bottom one also comes apart. I don't want to do it because I don't want to have to deal with it. Yeah, so screw it, I'll leave it like it is. But I had to add with the same kind of bias tape. They just use the same bias tape is bias tape. And then I added a zipper by hand because I don't have a way to do that on my machine right now. I don't know what happened to my pieces, so I don't have my zipper foot. Oh well, it was fine. It took me like 20 minutes. It'll be fine. But that's basically it for that. So let's talk about stuff that I don't have on me at the moment. The pants are actually drying right now because we had to re-iron them. So the pants that they gave me were really long, like really long. I took off about 10 inches, I would say. About 3 from the bottom and then about 7 from the top. That's how big they were. And they were only a little bit bigger than my waist. Normally they're like double or triple, but these ones were, these were around waist size to me. So that was fine. But they had no pockets and they were just all over bad. So I had to get new pants. So I went out and bought scrubs. I bought white scrubs in a size that fit me. Then Reinhard's pants have this purple thing going down it that it like goes down and then goes around his ankles. And I wasn't gonna do that. So I cut that out of the pants and sewed it back on to the other pants, the scrubs pants. So they're basically appliqued onto the pants. And then I hemmed it all and, you know, all that stuff on the bottoms. But then it had the wrong design on it, and I'll show that. So here's the reference compared to what they gave me. I can't find any Reinhard costumes that don't have that design on them. The wrong design. All of them have that. I don't know why. It's like some weird arrowhead looking thing. He doesn't have that. He has swirls. So I made them. I took, originally I was going to use just regular vinyl and then just like fabric glue it on and call it good until I could get better pants and do them the good way where they actually look a lot better. But I went ahead and used iron-on transfer vinyl, which is annoying to use when you don't have a cutting machine or, you know, whatever for those. They're really hard to put on otherwise. So I had to pick at the corners and just hope I didn't peel it off and then just hope I did everything right. But it worked out and they fit on there. Like the design fits on there perfectly and it works out. And then before I did that, we were trying to find a purple that matched in bias tape to put. He has, in the anime he doesn't, but in the light novel, again, since we're doing that, he does. He has a strip on the front and back on either side of that purple strip. So I had to add that. They didn't have anything except for ribbon, like regular ribbon. So, and it's like, it's weird because it's got like these ribs in it too. So it's like a textured ribbon. Really odd. It looks cool on it though, to be honest. So it works out. It's hard to see and it just looks fine. And it matches better than anything else we could find. So I put that on there and put it all the way around to follow the line with a little bit of spacing in between on each side. And we used iron-on transfer tape for that. So where you iron on the tape to one side, we did it on the ribbon first, and then put it down onto the pants, and then sectioned it off and put it down on the pants that way. So that's how that worked. That did end up peeling up a little bit, and I don't know why. So we went down and ironed it again just today. Like yesterday I found out that it did that, and we did that like a month ago. So I don't know what caused that, but we did it again and it seems to be fine now. So I don't know what's gonna happen. If it does it again, I might just fabric glue it down. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then there's also the shoes, which I just got some Dockers brand shoes because they were the ones that I could find online for the cheapest. And I just found ones that look like his. I can link those in the bottom too, in the description or whatever. So the two main things that are definitely not even finished yet. I mean, one is sitting right here, almost finished. I'm just waiting for paint to dry, so I don't want to pick it up. But it's just a strip of black vinyl. They're on my Sora shoes for Kingdom Hearts 3. And then I've used them in other things. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But they're really useful, this specific one. So I bought all of it. So I bought like the entire thing that has it wrapped around it. It was closed, like it had the plastic still on it. So I just bought the whole thing. I was like, I'll buy all of it because I have the money for it and I can use this stuff. So I did that with another one too. The one that actually, these ones, I did that with these two. I bought the entire whatever that is, the unopened roll thing of it. So I have a crap ton of both. Yeah, so I just took that same purple, this same purple that I used on here, and I painted both sides, and I'm waiting for one side to dry. That is going to be the sword strap. That's what holds the sword on. So I can't touch it because it's still wet. So I can't show you, and I gotta get this done. So just trust me that it's a strap that's long enough to hold to do the thing, and I can put the sword on it. Which, speaking of, this is the only thing done. For the sword, what I'm doing is light novel canon. We don't know anything about what they're doing in the anime as far as Reinhard's canon stuff. But in the light novels, spoiler alert by the way, he's basically a god. He can do anything. He can do literally everything. But his sword has kind of a mind of its own. It has a will of its own, I guess, where if it knows that it's not needed, he can't pull it out of the sheath. Because it's like, no, we're gonna just destroy everything around us. This is a waste of my power. Use a regular sword and kill the guy. That's why he used a regular sword against Elsa in the first part of the series, in the anime, because the sword he doesn't need to use this sword. So he can't pull it out anyway, so he used another sword. But this is 3D printed. So I wanted somebody to make just this. Honestly, I wanted it to not have the blade on it, but that's just what I found with this. This is a 3D print. That's just what I found online. It's the only one I could find. So what I wanted to make it do was where I can't pull it out. I was gonna do something like, if someone says like, oh, fight me or something, like as a joke or whatever, I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm not allowed to. It knows that it's not needed for you. You're not strong enough or something. Make a joke about it. So this is just having a sheath glued to it basically, which is drying behind the camera. It was taking forever to finish, so I said screw it and started doing the video without it. So I can't show you much of it, but there'll probably be something at the end of this or over this as I'm speaking if I get it done in time to put it in the video, but I don't know. The thumbnail will eventually be me in the costume, but until I can get everything done, it's not going to be that way. Honestly, that's it for the entire costume. There's not a whole lot to do on this. It's actually fairly easy, and since most of it can be bought and just altered, that's why I picked to do that. So, as you can see, all of this is still here because we didn't want to go over the buttons, but we have to now, so that kind of sucks. But he's sending me the fabric, so I'm gonna do that whenever it gets here. It might be like Monday or Tuesday when it gets here. That's after this is coming out, so nothing I can do about it. Also, I didn't add this. They did when they sold it to me, or when they sent it to me. This is just black lace on top of here. But I wanted to find something better than this, but I lost track of time and forgot to do that. It doesn't like to stay up. Like if you can see, it's like it's falling over on all different sides. It'll fall over that way, or it'll fall over that way, but it hardly ever sticks up unless it's in the back or the middle. So I might try to find a way to fix that. If anybody knows and wants to put it in the comments and let me know what I can do to fix that with it still looking laced like that. without adding solidness to it. I don't want to add anything else to it if I can help it. And I can't take it off and add more without destroying it. So if there's anything that you guys know that I can do, go ahead and please let me know in the comments. I'll take whatever suggestions and see what I can do. And then the very, very last thing, I have black gloves that are over there. They're just black gloves. I just bought a 4-pack that was like $6. They work, whatever. I'll put those in the description too. But they're just gloves. Anyway, that's everything that I did to alter this Reinhard costume. If you guys like this type of video and want to see more of me talking about how I did certain things to my costumes or how I made or altered them, go ahead and leave a thumbs up and maybe comment and let me know if you like these kind of videos or not. And if you do like these type of videos, be sure to subscribe for more for later on, as well as all my other videos. But anyway, I'll see you guys later.